Hey guys, let's get more news from Miami Heat, but first, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like. Heat's Adebayo drains rare three-pointer in NBA All-Star Game highlight as his East team wins. Make it 2 3-pointers this season for Miami Heat center Bam Adebayo, even as the official count remains at 1. Starting for the Eastern Conference in Sunday night's NBA All-Star Game in Indianapolis, Adebayo played a nominal role in a game dominated by perimeter players, an annual night when defensive precepts such as Adebayo's are cast aside. But there at least was a moment for Adebayo in his team's record-setting 211-186 victory over the Western Conference in the game at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. That came in the first quarter, on a sequence that opened with Adebayo inbounding the ball off the back of Denver Nuggets center Nikola Jokic and then draining a three-pointer on the other end. Adebayo then threw his arms up in the air to celebrate as he ran back on defense. In games that actually count, Adebayo is one of 11 on three-point attempts this season, with 9 regular season three-pointers over his career. Adebayo played 17 minutes, closing 1 of 2 from the field for 3 points, with 2 rebounds and 2 assists. As a perspective on Adebayo largely being shuffled out of the mix, at the end of the third period, Adebayo had his 2 shot attempts at a time East teammate Damian Lillard had 20. Lillard closed with 39 points on 14 of 26 shooting, named the game's most valuable player. Adebayo got the start with Philadelphia 76ers center Joel Embiid unable to participate due to the knee injury that also kept him out of the Heat's Wednesday night victory in Philadelphia, their final game before this current 8-day All-Star break. Adebayo was selected as the replacement starter by Milwaukee Bucks coach Doc Rivers, who coached the East on Sunday night. The game was so foreign to Adebayo's defense-first approach that his Eastern Conference team led 104-89 at halftime, the most points ever in a half in an NBA All-Star game. And the scoring and lack of competitiveness kept going from there. Adebayo, the Heat's lone All-Star, started for the East alongside Giannis Antetokounmpo, Jason Tatum, Lillard and Tyrese Haliburton. Starters for the All-Star Game were selected in a combined vote of fans, players, and media. Reserves, which is how Adebayo made it, were selected by conference coaches. Adebayo was making his third All-Star appearance since entering the league in 2017. He became the Heat's first All-Star Game starter since Dwayne Wade in 2016. The other All-Star starters over the Heat's 36 seasons have been LeBron James, Chris Bosh, Shaquille O'Neal, Alonzo Mourning and Anthony Mason. The Heat are idle until Friday's game against the New Orleans Pelicans at the start of a 4-game trip. The Heat resume practice Thursday at Kaseya Center. Bam Adebayo caps off Heat's All-Star weekend with All-Star Game win. A look at how Adebayo fared. Miami Heat center Bam Adebayo's third NBA All-Star Game appearance included his first All-Star Game start and a win, but not a lot of shots or points for himself. Adebayo and the Eastern Conference defeated the Western Conference 211-186 on Sunday night at Gainbridge Fieldhouse in Indianapolis to cap off All-Star weekend. The East's 211 points marked the most points scored in the game's 73-year history. But Adebayo, who was in his 7th NBA season, didn't score many of them. He closed his third All-Star game with 3 points on 1 of 2 shooting from the field, 2 rebounds and 2 assists in 17 minutes. Adebayo's 3 points and 2 field goal attempts were the fewest among all the players who took part in Sunday's showcase. It's the continuation of Adebayo's string of quiet All-Star performances, as he has now totaled just 15 points on 9 shots during his 3 All-Star Game appearances. Despite being selected as an East reserve, Adebayo started Sunday as a replacement for injured Philadelphia 76ers center Joel Embiid to become the first Heat player to start an All-Star Game since Dwayne Wade in 2016. Adebayo's only points of the night came on a pull-up 3 less than 5 minutes into the game after inbounding the ball off of Denver Nuggets center Nikola Jokic's back and then dribbling into the shot. Adebayo recorded 3 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, while playing the first 6 minutes of the game before heading to the bench. Adebayo, 26, didn't score, grab a rebound or dish out an assist for the rest of the game. Adebayo, who was the Heat's lone representative in this season's All-Star game, is one of only 6 players in franchise history who have been voted into the All-Star game 3 or more times as members of the Heat. The others are Alonzo Mourning, Shaquille O'Neal, Wade, LeBron James, and Chris Bosh. Sunday marked the first time the East and West have faced off in the All-Star game since 2017, with the past 6 seasons featuring mixed teams drafted by a captain from each conference. There was also no target score used on Sunday. The return to the classic 4-quarter East versus West format produced a high-scoring game that included 67 made threes on 168 three-point attempts between the two teams, both new NBA All-Star game records, and very little defense. Milwaukee Bucks guard Damian Lillard was named the All-Star Game MVP, finishing with 39 points on 11 of 23 shooting from three-point range for the East. Earlier on Sunday, two-way contract players Cole Swider and Alonzo Williams represented the Heat in the G League Up Next game at the Indiana Convention Center. Williams continued to impress, scoring 14 points on 6 of 7 shooting from the field and 2 of 3 shooting on threes, 4 rebounds, and 1 assist to lead his team to the final of Sunday's G League Showcase 4-team mini-tournament. Williams' team ended up winning the G League Up Next title, throwing down a few flashy dunks along the way. The Heat's All-Star Weekend also included representation in Friday's Rising Stars event, Jamie Jaquez Jr. and Williams, and Saturday's Slam Dunk Contest. Jaquez was eliminated in the first round. With All-Star Weekend coming to an end on Sunday, Adebayo and the others who represented the Heat in Indianapolis now have a few days off before returning to practice on Thursday in Miami. The Heat resumes its schedule on Friday against the New Orleans Pelicans at Smoothie King Center. Heat sign guard Delon Wright. The Heat have signed guard Delon Wright, according to a team press release. Wright, a 9-year NBA veteran, has appeared in 494 career NBA games, 84 starts, and averaged 7.0 points, 3.2 rebounds, 3.1 assists, 1.22 steals and 20.8 minutes. The Wizards bought out Wright on Friday and waived him. ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski reported on the same day that Wright intended to sign with Miami. He received the prorated veterans minimum, Anthony Chang of the Miami Herald tweets. Wright, 31, had been with the Wizards since signing a 2-year, $16 million contract with the club as a free agent in 2022. He appeared in 83 total games for Washington across those 2 seasons, averaging 6.1 points, 3.3 assists, 2.9 rebounds, and 1.5 steals in 20.2 minutes per game, with a shooting line of .450/.350/.854. Wright had an expiring $8.2 million deal prior to the buyout. After averaging 15.1 minutes per contest in his first 29 games this season, Wright logged just 18 total minutes in the Wizards' first 4 games after the trade deadline, signaling that he was no longer part of their plans, so his buyout agreement didn't come as a huge surprise. The Heat were looking for point guard depth following Drew Smith's season-ending injury and the January trade sending Kyle Lowry to Charlotte. The Heat had an open spot on their 15-man roster. Miami was permitted to sign Wright despite being over the first tax apron because his pre-waiver salary was less than this season's non-taxpayer mid-level exception, $12.4 million. And you fan, what do you think of the Delon Wright situation? Leave your opinion in the comments.